Hello and welcome to Morgan's Miles. Yes, I'm back, and apologies that it's been a little while. Life has got in the way, health and all sorts of other stuff that just, and these things take an awful lot of time to put together. Time is the one thing that I can't seem to buy at the moment. It's one of those things. Anyway, I'm back because I keep getting asked the same question. In Imp circles, there is a front to back fuel line on the Imp that's from the factory. It's made out of steel, and with the effect of aging, it blocks or it rusts or both, and it needs replacing. Now, conventional wisdom is you rip it all out and you replace it with either Cunifer or copper, but to do that, because it's both copper and or Cunifer aren't quite as flexible as you'd like them to be, there's a bit under the front, which I'll show you in a minute, where the pipe goes down and then turns through 90 degrees and then through another little angle to get through the front suspension mounting plate. Now, you can't easily do that with copper. And yeah, I know some of you have done it, and well done, have a banana. But the point is that it's not easy. What is easy is to use this stuff. This is nylon semi-rigid line. Now, this is the stuff that you have fitted to modern cars, and they fit it for a reason. It's because it's really easy to fit. It is hard wearing, durable. It is completely safe for all types of fuel. And, well, anyone can use this stuff. You don't need any special tools or anything like that. This is bonehead simple stuff. But the most important thing is, because it's semi-rigid, it's really flexible. See that? You can't do that with copper. Well, you can, but it just snaps off after a while and you end up with it folding in on itself and blocking and bad things. Anyway, the fact is, this stuff is no more expensive than copper or Cunifer. I've found a couple of places just with a Google search. I will put a still in a moment of the label from the roll that I bought, and I bought it in a 15-meter coil, and I seem to remember I paid like 15 quid or something soppy for it. It wasn't a lot, yeah. And that's done 2, 3, and this is going to be the 4th car, so you know it lasts a while. So the point is, Google it, buy yourself some. Here is the photo. That probably makes no sense, and I'll probably have to edit that out, but never mind. Doesn't matter. That's what you need. Go buy some of that. Then you need some olives. And I'm not talking about the stuff that you put in your pizzas. I'm talking about the olive that makes the joint between the screw-in connector, adapter, fitting, if you want to call it. You can call it Brian. It's not listening. The bit that you screw into the bottom of the tank, the bit that seals it onto the pipe, is called an olive, and I'll show you what one of those looks like next. So I'm back from rummaging in the depths of the garage over there, and I have in my hand these olives. Where's the cam? Where is the cam? There it is. Now, can you see the little sort of brass things? Olives. And what happens is you slide one of those onto the end of the tube, and between it and the screw-in adapter bit, and as it screws into the bottom of the tank fitting, it crushes in on itself and it forms the seal. Now, it is critical that you buy the right ones, okay? They have to be 1/4 inch diameter, okay? Don't buy the metric equivalent, because there is no such thing, okay? Believe. Buy the right thing and it works. Buy the wrong thing, it'll leak, and that's when you get some of the people that have tried doing this and gone, it doesn't work because it leaks. It doesn't. You do it correctly. But what you need to do when you are fitting these is, on a metal pipe, when you're screwing those up, the metal doesn't crush the same way as nylon, because as we've seen, it's flexible. So what you have to do is you have to use a former in the middle of the fitting so that it doesn't crush in on itself and collapse. Now, all will become clear and you don't need any specialist tools. I don't do specialist tools. I'm a peasant. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to show you all the various elements of this, and then we'll get started on actually doing the work. Okay, let's go that way. So this is the front end of the car. Here we are. It's my wife's lovely little 1964 Imp. It's a bit grubby under here, so I will be giving it a clean before it goes back in. Now, I've removed the tank, which involves draining it, which is all fun and games, but it's not that difficult. You have to undo the pipes. Where are they? There they are. The pipes that go between the inlet and the tank itself, and then you undo the bolts that go around the outside. And if you've got an early car like this, there is actually, if I can just get this to zoom in, there is also another bolt there. Now, down here, this is the fitting that I've removed from the tank. Now, in this particular instance, you will notice that this is made of nylon. Yes, and there is the little, can you see? There's the olive on the top of it. Hope that's clear as custard. Yeah. Now, this particular nylon line was fitted about 20 years ago. Yeah, actually, it was 18 years ago that was fitted. The only reason that we are replacing it is because when this car had new floors fitted to it, which was done by Jeff Day, did a lovely job, but unfortunately I neglected to tell him that there was a nylon line there and he managed to slice straight through it. So yeah, never mind. Yes, there is a little repair that's in there at the moment, which is, a little bit of rubber pipe just to, fix the situation, but I want it to be right. So I'm replacing the line starting from there, going all the way back under the car. Now, as part of this whole job, you need to salvage that fitting that there's just under my finger there. This bit here, oh, clang bash, what? That bit there, yes, you can buy them new, but you don't want to buy them new. There's nothing wrong with that. Go again. Don't try salvaging the olive. Tried that, doesn't work. So that normally, when it's fitted in the car, fits into this bit here on the tank. Now, you look very carefully and see if I can get you. Can you see in there? There is a compound curvature in there that marries up with the olive on the end of your pipe. And as you tighten that up, so it crushes the olive and forms the seal. Simple stuff. So how do you make the new one? Well, you have to take this bit off. Now, believe it or not, you can. You see it's got two flats there and there. Well, here's a bit of a news flash for some that don't know. I can't remember what the exact size now. Let's try that one. No. There's probably people sat at home screaming at the camera, at the TV rather, right now saying, oh, it's that size. There you go. That is hard. That is a 3/4 spanner. Now, I'm going to put the camera down in a moment because I can't do this one-handed. But you unscrew this from the tank. Then you put it in the vise to form the seal. All will become clear in just one moment. Right, so lefty loosey, and the damn thing falls over. Now this tank is actually fitted with one of Bob Picton's fabulous in-tank filters. Now I've not done this before with one of those fitted, so let's see. Does it just come straight out? Yes. And there, inside there, I can actually see his filter. It's great. Now, there you go. That's the fitting. go on to the next bit. Of course, one of the joys of it being made out of nylon is, in theory, I should be able to just cut this off here like this. Right. But of course, these are about as blunt as a blunt thing with extra helping and blunt saws. So I'll put this down and I'll do this properly with something that's actually got some cut to it. Yeah, that just took a bit more muscles than perhaps I could do one-handed. Anyway, there you go. That should explain how this works. Okay, so what you've got is you've got this bit here, which is your threaded bit that goes into the tank. There's your pipe, there's your olive, there's your fitting. Okay, and so when that tightens up into there, the olive, that bit there, is actually what's making the seal. Simples, isn't it? Right, so how do we remake that? Watch this space. So I've taken the liberty of sticking, don't know if you can see my face, you don't want to see it. Anyway, taking the liberty of putting the tank union in here. Here is my new pipe. Regardez. So you then need to put that on there. And you need to remember where you've put your olives, which, back in a moment. Here. So you then take one of your olives and you slip it onto the end of the pipe, which is actually sometimes easier said than done, because these need to be there you go, it's on. They need to be a bit of a tight fit. So what you want is, if you look at the old one, there's a little bit of the pipe showing through. So here we go, that's that on there like that. So a little bit of the pipe showing through. You then poke that up to there. Now you need a dolly or a former. Now I'm using this, which is a pokey stick braddle thing. And what I do is I poke it through there. I then poke that through there. I then wind that into there, keeping this in place. So you'll get to a point where you'll feel resistance. Now, making sure the vise is nice and tight, you now wind this up tight into, and there'll be a point where it goes proper tight. Now that should still be able to move in and out, which it does. So now when I undo that, it should now remove just as easily as it did before. But the olive is now part of the pipe. See that? Dead easy. Really, really dead easy. If I can do this, you can do this. Honestly, honestly, honestly. Right, so now we need to put that back in the tank. Now we need to poke that through the hole under the car, which involves me getting some overalls on, and it's roasting hot and I'm not looking forward to that. So I hear you asking, how on earth do you work out how much of this pipe you need to do the job? Well, I do it this way, you see. I use something heavy at that end, which is some cellulose thinners, and I uncoil a bit, bring it to the back of the car like this, and then get a pair of pliers. And, yeah. Right, let's try that again. Bring that all the way to the back here, beyond the back of the car, and to about, oh, come on camera, catch up with me. Do you know what? This is, I think this is having a crisis, this machine. Right, and we'll cut it there. Patwang! One of the things that you've got to do before you start pulling the old line off is to empty the line of fuel. Now what I've done is I've used my airline and I've put that on the end there, pushed the fluid along the car, out through a piece of scrap line and into my jerry can. Hopefully that's got all of it out, but I'm expecting to get a bath at some point. And now comes the unquestionable fun of jacking the car up, taking the tray off underneath, which has got all manner of rusted fixings all around it, always good, and then pulling the old line off. Now if you've got a metal line still on your car, genuinely don't spare the horses, just break it up, bend it, snap it, just take it off whichever way. Don't try and take it off complete, because it ain't coming off complete. It's at it. It's going in the bin. You're not going to be able to salvage anything. You've already if you've just salvaged the end piece to make your union, that's all that's salvageable from that old line. It's history. Good night, Eileen. So, time to get this thing up in the air. Word to the wise when you're jacking up your Hillman Imp. If you've got a strong one like this that's been done properly, you can put your axle stand under the back. It'd be nice and jacked up at the front, and it'd be nice and jacked up at the back rather. The front of the car will probably be off the ground. Let me show you what I mean. That's because the sill on these is so strong if they've been repaired right or they're in good condition in the first place. So you really do need to put some sort of support under the front as well, because that's a bit wibbly wobbly like that, honestly. Right, I'm switching to handheld because my gimbal has lost all its gimbalage. It would appear that the batteries are flat. Joy. Anyway, right. Let's have a look under here. Let's see if you can see what I can see. Let's see if... Now, can you see that? That's a nice repair. Don't you think that's a nice repair? That's the reason why this is coming out. Now, normally, this would all be clipped up to the inner part of the floor channel, but unfortunately the little clips have broken and fallen off. Yeah, big shout out, these little Draper lights. Recommendation from Matt Furious from Furious Driving. They're absolutely bloody brilliant. Yeah, let's get a bit of light under there. Right, let's see. So this here, where is it? That's the pipe there. You can see it disappearing off, and it goes off up there, and then tucks up, and then under the front. So what we need to do is we need to release it and then pull it out, and then I can poke the new one through, and then we can start getting the new one in. Yay. Well, because the gimbal has decided that it's not going to work, I've now had to adopt the ickle stand, which isn't anywhere near as nice. So apologies all, I will do my best. Anyway, I have now pulled out the front bit. Let's poke the new bit through, shall we? This bit here. We poke it down through the hole. Now I should be able to see, feel. What I should have done is I should have attached this end to that and then pulled it through, shouldn't I? That would have been the sensible thing to have done, Tim. Yes, it would. But that doesn't make good content, does it? Super. And that's what I've done in the past. So learn from Uncle Tim's mistakes. So what we'll do is we'll get under here and I'll put a light source there, and then that should shine through the dark hole. Should. Should but doesn't. Okay, well that was plan A. Let's go with plan Z.
A few moments later.
Right, it's done. In the end, I didn't try and attach the two pipes together. I took one look at it and thought, there is literally no way on earth that any tape is going to stick to the muck that's stuck to the original nylon line. So I just thought, no, what I'll do is I'll just take it off and clip it back in. And do you know what? I've had the whole thing done in about 10 minutes, tops. Anyway, so I'm going to button this up now, but before I do, I'm going to grab the camera and I'll just give you a quick look-see from underneath, and you can see where the new pipe is, and then we're done. Okay, starting in the front, as you can see, there is the new pipe. Before all this goes back together again, I am going to be giving this a jolly good clean with some brake and clutch, and maybe even touching in some of the slightly rusty bits that are poking through. So then underneath, now I'm going to need some sort of lightage from under here, because it's a bit on the dark side. Right, okay. Gosh, I wish I was 20 years younger. Okay, so let's put that there, and then let's put this here. Right, white pipe. Now, as you can see, this is not clipped down at the moment. I need to go and find some sort of clip to clip that onto here so that it's nice and safe and secure, because there is a clip missing from here and there is no way on earth I'm going to be able to get my pot rivet gun in there to do that. Whilst we're under here, much is made of Mark 1 choke cables, and there is one. Yay, go me. Anyway, so yeah, the pipe goes across here. There we go, and grab my light. Blinding everyone. So, goes across here, it's clipped into place there, and then yeah, there you go, around the back of the engine, all clipped using the original clippage. Yeah, I think you can just about see that. So, jobs that I have to do, as you can see under here, I need to give this a bit of a clean up and some paintage. Now, I'm not going to do this. I have a 12-year-old son to do that, and he is actually really keen to do it, so hence this is not going to be going back down on its wheels anytime soon. When he comes back from his jollies, he will be put to work, which I'm sure he's very keen to do. Yeah, as you can see, there's a bit of excess. I would far rather have a bit of excess, and I'll just trim that down with a pair of snips, and then transfer off the old pipe, which is here, that quite new piece of Gates pipe, onto that end. Right, well, we've jumped forward a little bit. I've just watched back my footage and have discovered that the tech has let us down. The tech is what connects us. It's the tech that actually allows me to talk to you right now. But unfortunately, sometimes the tech decides that it's not going to play ball. And in this case, it was the microphone. Decided that it no longer wanted to be a microphone. It decided it wanted to just do its own thing. Anyway, enough. Anyway, so there's a whole load of footage that I took where I'm gabbling away to the camera and you can't hear a damn thing I'm saying, which is, some would say, is probably a good thing. But anyway, so the job is now done. It took about an hour to do it start to finish, and that includes messing about with cameras and setting up shots and all the rest of it. So it's not it really is not a long job to do. Anyone can do this at home. If I can do this, you can. But if you genuinely don't want to get dirty, etc., and I get that. If you took this to a classic car specialist, be a bit forewarned and forearmed. If I can do this in an hour, you can bet your bottom dollar that a classic car specialist can do it in a similar sort of time frame. And so if they charge you any more than an hour and a half's labour, you know that they're rinsing you. So you can have that conversation and show them this video. It's the materials themselves to do one car. I mean, I forget how much the little olives cost, but they weren't expensive. I got mine from Holden. Nice little bag that they were in, which is why I couldn't find them. Yeah, and the pipe, as I say, I found via a Google search. I suggest you do the same. I've put a link, I put a thing up earlier with the actual size of it. It's a 1/4 inch semi-rigid nylon line, and that's it really. It is that simple. So I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen, and I hope you've had a laugh at my expense when things have gone according to plan. And I will do another video quite soon showing you an update on the rest of the fleet, because there have been some changes. We've got one car that's come back. That's a bit of a spoiler. And I've got a new car as well, and I need to introduce those. There's been lots and lots and lots of work done on Sky, which actually I might just do as a montage of all the photos that Jeff took when he was doing it, because it's fascinating. It went in for a couple of small little bits, and then we ended up with a whole new sill and a whole new floor, and old cars, man. Gracie, yeah, there's some bits and pieces to talk about with her, and Pelly as well. So I'll do that in a separate video. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Be seeing you.